If you work with data in any capacity, you can bear me witness that gathering and shaping the raw data takes not less than 60% of the analysis journey. What is even more annoying is that you normally have to go through the same manual copy-pasting motions every reporting cycle. Well, I have good news. You can automate the entire process such that in subsequent reports, you simply click refresh and the reports are ready. The good news? You do not have to learn coding or VBA. Yes, none of that. Excel has point and click tools that will do the job for you. Now, wondering what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Power Query and Power Pivot. You probably have these tools but may not have interacted with them or even know you have them. Well, check this out. Power Query is presented in different layouts depending on what version of Excel you have installed. Now, if you have Excel 2010, then you'd have to install this as an extra add-in that comes from Microsoft, and you can download it for free. I will leave a link in the description so that you can try that out. And once you install, or your IT department installs this for you, then it will come as an extra menu on the ribbon in Excel. As you can see on this first screen, it's the last menu there. If you have Excel 2016, then that comes enabled within the data menu, and this is where it resides. It's called Get and Transform within the data menu, and it's similar with Excel 2019 and Office 365. The difference is only the layout of the different icons and the naming within the data menu. Having seen the screenshots for the different Excel versions for Power Query, let's now do an example so that you have a feel of what you can do with Power Query and Power Pivot. So with me here, I have an Excel file that has a couple of worksheets, monthly sales data that I get sent, and you can see I have January all the way to June. Now we would want to summarize this data as one table, and instead of having it in different worksheets, we would want it combined or appended below each set of data. So I'll take you through an example on how you can do that with Excel Power Query. And to start with, what you need to do is to make sure this data is formatted as special table. So you can see the January one is formatted as a special table. You can tell that because when I look at the ribbon up there on Excel, I have the design menu or table design, depending on what version you're using. But other tables, other worksheets also are formatted apart from May and June for specific reasons you shall see soon. So to start with, I will come to data menu or go to Power Query if you have a Power Query menu. Then I'll go to get data. I will do other sources and I choose a blank query. Okay, this is what I found as the most efficient when you have Excel special tables. And then here, the first thing I want to do is to give this query name a better name. I'll call sales data. Okay. Then here on the formula bar, what we need to use here is a formula called excel.current workbook, this one. And this one you don't need to specify anything within the brackets. I just click that. What it does, it gives you all the special tables in your Excel. It will exclude the normal worksheets and other ranges. So this is a special table. You can see if I click on the side there, it gives me the different tables in my worksheet. Now what we need to do here before I proceed with any manipulation is that because we shall load this table called sales data within the same worksheet, now when it is refreshing, it will refresh that table as well, and therefore you'll have duplication. So before I do anything, I will come to this name column. This is the name of the table, and I'll say text filters. I want to maintain tables that do not equal to sales data. Okay, so that I can filter out the next time I refresh. It shouldn't refresh with the combined data. So I say that. Then that ensures that is taken care of. Then all I have to do is to click on these sideways pointing arrows. When I click, you'll see all the column names from the tables you have. We do not want to append the name of the table as the column name, so I untick that and I press OK. And that's all we had to do. The data is combined. If you want to confirm, you can see on the right here the name. If I click and I load more here, you will see all the 4 tables. So maybe something that I would want to do here is to remove unnecessary column like that one. I want to extract this as an additional column, the brand, which is the first characters before the first space. So I'll say text before delimiter. The delimiter is a space. I press OK. So that gives me an extra column here on the end. I will call this one brand. And then here the name, I just want to maintain the month. So I'll extract. I can do the first 3 characters or text before delimiter. The delimiter is an underscore. Then I press OK. So that is it. Then I'll highlight these 2. I will convert them to uppercase. Just for my preference, this should be the month. Okay. And I think for now I do not want the quantity. Let me remove. I just maintain this. I can move this one to the beginning there. The month can come just before the amount. So I have the numbers. So you can see here I have all the 4 months. I can load this table. I'll say close and load from home. So this will load it as a new worksheet in this same file. And this is the combined data with all the 4 worksheets. Now we need to include May and June. You can see currently this table has 6,000 rows, 127. So I say the trick is to convert this to a special table. So I'll Control T to do that. Confirm that the top row is a header. I say OK. It gives me the design menu. I will call this one May underscore 2020. Then I'll do the same with June. Control T. I say OK and give it a name that is consistent. This should be June underscore 2020. The naming consistency is also important. It will help in making this smooth. So I can right click here and click refresh. I could right click within this table and then I refresh. Then check on the number of rows. You can see they have increased to 9,000. And if I filter by month here, you can see the May and June have been included. And with this one, you can do a pivot table. Okay. Insert a pivot table. You can do existing, the same worksheet. It's fine. Let me place it there. You can see by month, the numbers are there. And if I have July and other numbers, then I will come and do the same, convert them to a special table. All I have to do is to click refresh. So these are the numbers. Okay. So you can use Excel Power Query to combine Excel worksheets that are specially formatted as an Excel table. Of course, they don't have to, but if you convert, it makes it smoother. You can also use Excel to combine data from a folder. So I have this data that is in different months. You can see monthly sales, April to June. Again, I am starting with that. The data is consistent. This is the consistent layout for each of these monthly worksheets. I have that folder with all those 6 worksheets. Then these ones are on the outer side. I will include once we do the query. With this example, I've already connected to the folder, this one that has the 6 files. I've done all the transformation or the process I need to do. Then I have loaded this to what we call Power Pivot. So it's time to look at what is Power Pivot. You can see the menu comes at the end there. And again, this one, depending on what version of Excel you're using, you may need to download as a separate add-in. It's free. but if you're having Excel 2016 and above, then it will be a matter of enabling within the Excel add-ins. So I'll click on Manage button here, and it opens for me the Power Pivot window. So you'll see it's more or less just like normal Excel worksheets. You can see at the bottom I have 3 tables. One is the fact sales that I connected using Power Query. I combined all the files that were on that folder. Right now you can see this one runs up to, you have Jan, Feb, March and April, May and June. So we need to include July, August and September, and I'll show you as I refresh how it will pick. Then I have a separate table that gives me a mapping by product or the SKU to the brand. Okay. Then I have another table that gives me the calendar or the time items. So if you look at this window, it's called Power Pivot. I can see the data view or the diagram view. So this one allows you to analyze data that is in different tables, but then you're able to create relationships. So between the products and the sales table, the relationship is between the SKUs, so that I'm able to pick the brand. Between these fact sales and the dime calendar table, then the relationship is the dates. Okay, so here you create relationships between tables so that you're able to analyze data coming from different tables. So this is the relationship view. Then within the data view, you can also create what we call measures. I've just created 2 measures here. One is called revenue, which is just a sum of the amount column here. And then the revenue year to date, which is a formula called total YTD. And it gives you the calculation of the total YTD as we know it. So if I minimize this screen, so you can see this pivot table is drawing data from the dime calendar. I'm picking the month name there. Then the fact sales is taking these 2 numbers. Then this other one gives you the revenue by brand. It's also summarizing the revenue and YTD. And this YTD, as you can see, if I click Feb, then it refreshes up to Feb, and you can see the numbers for YTD is 119 million, and that's the total of this. All right. If I say by May, then you can see this number should total with what is May value for revenue. So I want to show you how or what will happen. So I'll go to the folder, and on this folder here, I will select these 3 files and drag them within the monthly sales folder, because this is the one we are connecting to for analysis. So let me minimize this so that we see here we currently have items up to June. So I'll go to data menu and click refresh all. Then it will run the query which I did within Power Query to transform the data and combine. Then once it finishes, it will refresh these pivots. You can see now it runs the extra months here have been included. The data has also updated. The slicer here, I have July numbers, August and so forth. So you can see how the process can be streamlined. It's a simple point and click refresh, and then all the data is loaded. Your summaries are ready. So you're good to go to start doing the insights. And this is just a tip of the iceberg. I invite you to consider joining or sponsoring your staff for the upcoming Power Query and Power Pivot class, where we explore more of these scenarios on how you can automate the reporting process so that you save time when it comes to reporting and you have more time to interrogate your data. The link is in the description. Consider also sharing this video with your contacts. That will be very helpful and priceless for me. See you on the inside.